Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines 2. It has been ages since I played. Last year is when I last played, and then gone on a bit of a break. And there was a few episodes that did obviously come onto the channel after that time, as I preloaded it. But I need to just refamiliarize myself with actually what's going on over here. We've got this nice high density area over here, and we are starting to expand our beachfront development a fair bit. There are a few complaints around piling up of garbage, but I've only really seen it in the one location. And we've got a few places waiting for a hearse and a few complaints about rent. Other than that, people seem to be quite happy. Some high noise pollution, but the reliable mail service is giving people a lot of, is giving us a lot of kudos. Yeah. Wealth matters. So we've got matters that currently affect your citizens. So people seem to be quite wealthy, which is good. What are we going to do? We might continue to expand our demand, get our population up a little bit more. People seem to love coming to this city. There's a massive demand for low density. But also medium density and high density. So what are we having over here? This is, I believe this is a medium density that we have here, right? So what is this? This is medium density Northern American style. I don't think this is the North American style. I believe that might be the North American style. I think we're running a European style medium density here. With a little bit of low density at the front there. I'm not sure I'm a massive fan of it, but we could always do a bit of a, you know what, we could do a little bit of a waterfront kind of area here where it's just a walking area. Anyway, we'll see. Another hearse here, and this is one of those signature buildings, right? A modern classic that puts a smile on the faces of inhabitants. Anyway, people seem to be pretty happy, and we can move it if we wanted to. Now, let's add a few more things. So I'm going to go and say, let's grab the European style. And what I believe we'll do is we'll just paint it in like this so that we kind of get... I don't want it to be built onto that side, so... of wondering. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Let's just do this entire thing and see what comes in here. So it's a little bit of a more interesting little setup here. That's a pretty sizable one. We'll see. I think because they're all medium, it's not going to be a big deal. So we'll see what we get over here. And I think, yeah, it's reasonable. What else do we have here that we can build in this area? None of that. Ooh, we do need to... Oh, we did do the farming area. Keep forgetting that. We've got high density offices now. We're not going to put offices in this area, but this area seems to be really attractive for the high density business, low density business. Let's see about continuously adding a little bit of low density business. Maybe just something like that. But this is now the EU style as opposed to the American style, or is it? Or actually, I think it might be the EU style. But I'm not a big fan of what we're seeing over here just yet. There's a lot of demand for offices, and the kind of thing that we've done is we've densified this area. I think, what is this? This is high density offices, is it? Yeah, pretty tiny high density office buildings. Okay. And we're starting to play around with some of the roads a little bit to get things to move. But to be honest, I don't see any major traffic issues, even though we have higher density areas in effect. And I do like my row houses over here. And this area here was really good as well. And this was kind of the mixed use piece. And I was trying to kind of do a little bit of a riverfront commercial area with some housing and the like in this area. So that's pretty good. These are just pretty boring suburbs, but they're so close to what probably will be the center of town, and maybe we're going to end up expanding and densifying in this area also. But this entire area has been densified. What is this? This is a little bit of a commercial area here, right? Yeah. Yeah, so a little bit of a little commercial shopping area over here. Now, parking seems to be a bit of a problem all around, but in general, that's looking pretty good. We've got these areas, so expanding suburbs in these areas over here. And what is, because I've kind of left this road unzoned for traffic purposes, it's looking a little bit funny for the most part, to be honest, because it's so empty around it. I've generally tried to be pretty good with how I zone things so that we don't run into enormous traffic problems. Okay, so that filled in over here, and I must say I'm not minding it too badly. It's pretty good, and yeah, it's the same style. So we've definitely got that style going for us over here. Now, if we go to some of these streets, right? We had pedestrian streets, 2-lane wood-covered bridge, but so we had pedestrian streets, so we could do a little something like that, right? And actually get us a bit of a waterfront going. So if we do this, we tie that one in there. So that gives us a bit of a waterfront, right? I actually wouldn't mind. I'm definitely not tying it in over there, but let's leave that as is. If we continue to run that straight through here, let's see what that gives us. So now we've got these little paths that can kind of tie into it, and we can continue to provide some stuff in here. But what I'm kind of wondering we do is, can we go with slightly higher density? If we were to say do a high density like that, what does that look like? So let's see what we get. Still maintaining the European style that we're doing over here. Now, we have major demands for everything. Industrial, we are doing some industrial pieces over here, but I'm not necessarily going to expand industrial too much. We've got power over here in the geothermal, and then we've got this area out over here. We can quite reasonably expand some of this. Healthy Pines, though, how many employees? Oh, we're perfectly balanced, are we? Okay, well, that's an interesting one. So presumably what we can do is we can expand Healthy Pines a little bit, get a little bit more going in this general area. But I don't mind the place the way it is at the moment, though we are probably inefficient with regards to what's happening with some of these things. Yeah, absolutely inefficient, I think. Is this an expanded police station or not? No, we haven't upgraded it. Yeah, so it seems to be quite efficient and working quite well. So we could probably expand the area a little bit. We've got Prospect Street running in here through this little highway connection.
What kind of future?
And the question is, we probably add a little bit more in terms of the town access points over here. We have a room for a little bit more. So let's put a few more things in here. We're going to go with the North American style low density, and just do a few kind of different sizes of houses.
So a housing shortage is bad for the people trying to move here, right?
Humans are programmed to desire
So if we do something, yeah, that's just going to be a double. We could. Now let's leave a little bit more open. Yeah, so we just slowly provide a little bit more like this. And let's see. So we should be able to give us, yeah, so we can certainly do yet another extractor. So what do we have here? We've got leafy greens, which is vegetables, and we've got grain, and we've got vegetables. So presumably we can do more grain.
Thank you, Professor.
Presumably we can do a little bit more grain, or textile. Maybe we can do a little bit of textile at some point. But I'm thinking a bit of grain.
Shop for designer shoes while sipping a fancy
Probably something like that.
That's good for business and
well, or we can just do one that kind of fills out this entire area here. Plus maybe get something on the corner somewhere. No, I think that's going to be okay. Let's just do two of them. So let's do that. And we kind of just run it all the way across there. In a bit of a square shape there. So there we've got one bit of a grain section there. And then what we can do is, oh yeah, we've got this area. Oh, it's not quite up against the road there. Oh, I'm assuming it's so we could, did we? I wanted to actually tidy this up with some trees, I think. Well, we'll do that. Now let's do another one. So another one, we probably need, I'll do another vegetable, to be honest. Go up all the way over there. And then I was kind of thinking we'll just do it like that. So we kind of have that square area. It's a bit of a square shape here. Could have probably maneuvered it a little bit. Do we do that? Okay. It's really not gonna want me. It's not wanting me to do that. Let's just get rid of the snapping. Yeah, there we go. Just want to make it look a little bit more dynamic in this area. So it's not a complete square, but I'm happy to give a little bit back in the corner here and see what we can do with that. But I think that's probably going to be about right. But I like the kind of curved nature around the corner here. And can we, yeah, we'll drag that one up against the road there. Perfect. So that looks pretty good. So let's then get out of that. That's got everything it needs. We will need to plant a few trees. So let's find the trees that we need. What do we have in this general area here? Now, I think we'll do something slightly different. Let's find spruce or birch, or do we have like poplars or something? We go here. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to do a bit of poplars. So we'll clean this up a little bit. Might leave those two in there for a little bit of interest. Okay, so we'll do something like this. We'll actually run it up this area as well. I think that's going to look pretty cool. People are walking on these roads. We'll just do something like that. And then maybe we'll grab a bit of a spruce, was it? Spruce, something yeah, like that. We'll do a bit of spruce on this side. Maybe just a little stretch like that should be fine. Probably need a little bit down here as well. And there we go. So we'll leave that there. We'll let this fill in a little bit. How many workers in each of these? 15 workers there, 20 workers over here. And I think we probably added a little bit more. So if we have a look now, in terms of healthy pines, are we still fairly balanced? I think so. I think we're still fairly balanced over here. Okay, good stuff. That's good. We've added a little bit more over there. This side should have grown and filled in a little bit. We can do a bit more high density. I think we might, do we step it down a little bit over here? Or do we keep these enormous buildings? What is this? This is a... Oh, yeah. What did we do here? We had one that was supposed to pop in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's probably the smaller one that we would like. So these guys can still see over the top, and there's still a bit going on towards the beach over here. Yeah, probably about right. So let's go ahead, grab ourselves a little bit more in the European style here. Pop that in. They'll fill in pretty quickly. And what we'll do is we'll just continue with the European style low density that runs in like that. That should be fine. Actually, I'm going to unzone and rezone that, and then we'll get rid of that guy so we don't have the high density section there, even though it kind of still looks the part. Is that higher density? I have no idea. At the moment, it looks that way, but it probably isn't, so that's okay. Okay, we need offices. So if we wanted to do a bit more with regards to office, okay. So one of the things that I'm thinking is this area, we do have a bit of office going in here. So what I think is let's upzone a little bit more high density office. So that's kind of the idea. If we were to see what we can get, if we, for instance, decided to upzone something like let's do a 3x3. Actually, let's do 2 of them, like so, and we'll dezone kind of the rest of that, and we'll do this and see what we get here. 3x3s is that's a small one, I think. Ooh, that's getting pretty big. Ooh, what do we have over here? Where are my firefighters? Here they come. Fair bit of fire going on over here. Is there other fire engines on their way, or this guy's going to have to go and deal with the other side as well? It's interesting that we don't have multiple fire engines responding. Oh, anyway, that kind of resolved itself. I'm kind of thinking this is a little bit... Oh, that's not a bad... No, that's not a bad size, actually. Let's rezone this little section here, just to make sure we're all done. Oh, you know what? That's not quite the size that I'm after. I want... this is going to be... No, that's too big. That is way too big. Let's dezone. It's a weird size, isn't it? Let's dezone that. Let's get one at a time. That's something I can get on board with. And then what we'll do is we'll do maybe something that looks like that. Yeah. Ooh. I don't think. Anyway, let's see what comes up there, and we'll go from there. It's kind of the way we play this around. Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab some more expansion permits. I'm just going to grab the rest of at least the main section of the island. How many is that? I have to have a look. 10 permits in use. $18 out of 29. What we'll do is let's trim this one back. We don't need that one just yet. What we'll do is we'll plan out the rest of that. Let's trim it back a little bit over there and at the end there. And let's just do the main road network. So let's do an extra 10 slots there, and let's do a bit of planning around what our road network will look like. So we've got the 2 one-ways running over here, right? And they could now... let's get out... Oh, if we do road, we could... yeah, we need some sort of intersection somewhere over here that then allows for the main highway to run in here, unless we run the main highway down here and then we cross it somewhere. But anyway, we don't have that that luxury just yet. So I think for the time being, let's have a look at our two-way road network here. Let's switch this on so we can see. So this area here seems to be a good spot for us to potentially do another kind of a roundabout type action so that we can get another road going up there. This road joins that one over there, so that's okay. So let's try and keep it pretty straight. No, I want this to be... How come we... Is that not straight? Let's do that. Then we'll turn it around, of course. There we go. And on the other side, we will... run that one like so. Yeah, that seems to be fairly square. Now, the question here is, I'm thinking we can tie it in very similar to what we've done on that side. That actually works really well. Now, then what that means... Well, we kind of want something that goes this way. So let's give ourselves a bit of a road that then goes and meanders along the waterfront here. So something like that gives us a road that runs that way. And what we'll also want to do is we'll want a bit more sizable road, something like this guy, or even a 4-lane divided. I need to kind of see how that works. So if we were to do, well, anyway, let's. What we want to do is we want to do. That the right tool for the job? It's not looking too badly here. And now all we need to do is kind of figure out how we're going to tie these in, plus provide a bit of an access point here. Now we can do a stock standard roundabout.
A driving advisory has been issued.
So if we suggest, let's do this. Let's do this. Hang on, I've got a bit of plan. So if we were to say, what we'll do is we will do that tool.
Local public service announcement.
You're listening to Second Moon, the epitome of classical...
Okay, and we'll do the other one as well.
Industry in the region is on the rise, and when business is doing well, that floats our boat.
There's no sinking.
Okay, so something like that is pretty cool. All we need to do is let's turn this around so that works. And what I'm thinking we should do is we'll tie in this road.
You can now shop designer shoes while sipping a fancy local Jarva mate, or so my wife tells me. That's good for business and good for the community.
Thanks, Jim. We'll be back after this.
So we'll do something like this, right? So that gives us the opportunity to have this guy turn into that direction. I'm not a big fan of that setup. What we could do is we could have a tiny little or a slightly more sizable roundabout over there, which will kind of make this work. We do a similar thing. Yeah, that's not really going to work. If we do something a little smaller over there, then yeah, I'm not a big fan. Can we delete that? So this guy, that's not at all what we wanted. Not at all. So we'll just go back and tie that one in like so. That seems a bit of a kink there. Let's also, while we're at it, try and fix this one up a little bit more. Yeah, that's a lot more appropriate. And then what we'll do is we'll just turn this guy around to go into that direction, and we will need to figure out what we're going to do. So I'm thinking something slightly more interesting than that is let's run this road up here, and then instead of tying it in, what we'll do is we'll take one of these guys and we'll effectively say, oh, you know what? And we'll do a slightly larger kind of bit of a roundabout in there. Oh yeah, let's do that. Something like that looks super weird, but I like it. I like it. And what we can do is we can obviously play around with this so that it's not quite so crazy. Okay, so if we were to say, now let's start by saying, well, we're going to say no through movement. There we go. So you can only go in that way. You can only come out this way. And then similarly, you can go through all that way. These guys can turn around. These guys will have to wait. I will get rid of some of these. So let's do the internal ones. So we only have them on the outsides. And how are we going to manage this? This isn't like a real life roundabout. So what we'll need to do is we'll definitely need to it's definitely not gonna, it's not wanting me to do any of this stuff. So something like that seems pretty logical. And then again, what we'll do is we'll remove them over here, and that seems pretty good too. So let's leave it like that for the time being. We could also get a little bit more smart or a little bit better at this, and we'll upgrade. Ooh, that section there is not going to be super fun because this guy is going to automatically... you know what? We can do that, right? So it goes into both directions. And then we can upgrade this one. And then we've got a bit of a signal over there. And then the question we could have is we could basically do a very similar thing on this side that then funnels in over here. Right? And then we've got a little bit of a signalized setup doing its thing. Yeah, let's do that. See how that looks as a bit of a concept. I'm not a big fan of it creating the short lane on that side, but anyway, that's at least a little bit more of an interesting setup. Now, the rest of this road network over here, we're currently running the divided. Yeah, so that's fine. Happy to continue to run the 4-lane divided. We'll use that guy. And what we'll do is we will, you know what? We'll cut it across there, run it over this way, and basically try and straighten that up a little bit for us. Let's leave that there. We'll see about providing road access onto here. Now the question is, do we need the dual setup? And I think if we're wanting to target higher density in here, we will probably need it. And then what we can do is we can close it out in that area right over there. And do we go about roundabouting this up? I'm wondering about it. I think for the time being is let's add a roundabout in that area, pretty large, sizable roundabout, to kind of deal with that situation. What we can now also do is start running a few other crossroads from the one side to the other side. So let's just keep on going with that. We'll join that road network there. We'll do something like this. This should be a pretty reasonable little intersection over there. Probably do another one. Kind of somewhere over this area. That could then lead into, yeah. It's starting to go uphill a little bit, but we'll see about something like that. That could then at least draw a little bit of traffic into that direction. Though, what'll happen is we'll probably end up with vehicles trying to make this maneuver and start multiple turns. But from a topography perspective, this is probably about the better way of dealing with it. What we do with like edges here, I still need to kind of figure that out, but it's something that we need to do is start looking at much more high density. What ended up happening over here? Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to do a little bit more of this, but this area is really not looking great. It's probably too much high density right here. Probably too much high density. Guys, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to end this episode, think a little bit about, now that I'm kind of back up to speed with what we're doing, we've got tons of demand for high density residential, a variety of the other bits and pieces. We need to have a bit of a look at what's going on with our education system. I think it's probably intact. We do have a college over here, right? Yeah, and that one is getting pretty big to be, pretty full. So I'm kind of wondering whether we do a bit of a high density swath through here, maybe repurpose some of these areas, and then what we can do is we can slowly start to infill this, because I think this area here, with the low density in this area, just doesn't feel quite right to me. We're going so much high density in here. I don't mind this. This is looking pretty good for me. And maybe what we'll do is we'll just do something to add for a little cluster. Maybe even in here, we do a little cluster of high density there, and then we go a little bit more medium density. Just to fill this in a little bit. There's too much open space in here that we need to deal with. Guys, anyway, I'm going to leave the episode there, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!